Hello, this is Amy Forsyth, and I am currently attending CSU for the Advanced Object-Oriented Programming class. What I am going to do today is I am going to show you the application that we were assigned, Color Editor Picker. The whole goal of this project is to allow a user to change the RGB values and display to them the color that is generated. Let me go ahead and get started with just a basic run of the application. Hold on one second. Let me move it over here where it can be seen. As you can tell from first looking at it, what we have here is we have values for red, blue, and green that are instantiated. The color that is shown is reflective of those values as well as the hex representation. Now if we click the plus 10, we can see that the red is incremented by 10, and we have a color of red. The same for blue, and I'm not sure of this color, but there's the hex value for it, and green. So there is the representation, and as you can tell, all of them have incremented by 10. Now let's just say we want to keep incrementing the red value. As you can tell, we're approaching and we're getting another value, and the color's changing, and now we're out of range. When this occurs, two things happen. You get a pop-up box that tells you you're out of range, as well as a message on the console to let you know that the value that was given was greater than 255. Now, notice that the value did not change in this box. So now we can go back down and notice the changings of color and the hex value. And we are going to be fastly approaching 0. Alright, now we are out of range because the number is going to be less than 0 if we subtracted 10. And again, it stays at 10 with a nice pretty green color. Okay, so the same for blue. We can increment, and we're getting the values going up by 10. And now we are out of range. And as well as the decrement. Takes a few seconds to get this done. Again, change of colors, values out of range. Now let's do green. Green, 195. Okay. Out of range. And again, notice the change in colors. And we should be getting there soon. Okay, values out of range. Alright, so now I'm going to take a few minutes to show you what is driving this. I took advantage of the MVC design pattern as well as the strategy design pattern. Let's start with over here my project layout. As you can tell, I have a controller folder with an interface and a concrete implementation, a model folder with a model interface and a concrete implementation, and again the view with a view interface and a concrete view implementation. So let's start with the view. The reason I wanted to start with the view is because I'm going to discuss the design pattern outside of the MVC, which is the strategy design pattern. The strategy design pattern is where you can use the same interface but implement different concrete implementations, I believe is correct. I was trying to word that correctly. I probably did not. Okay, right here in the view, you can see that I have set an action listener. The action listener is what's going to be used to do different implementations. So we have the red increase and decrease buttons, the blue and the green. Now if we come over to the controller, we will see these inner classes where these implementations are taking place. So right here we can see where the red increase listener, decrease, and so forth. So I'm taking in the values and I am updating the model with an increase. I'm sorry, not with an increase. I'm updating the model and then I'm also updating the view. So the model is called a function called red increase with the number being passed. So if we go over to the model and we take a look and we look for red increase, here it is. This is where I'm doing the check on the value of the red number, and I'm incrementing it if the value is less than 245. Otherwise, I keep the same value. I write to the console and I show a message dialog box. And this is pretty much the case for all of those functions in regards to the plus 10 and minus 10 in coordinating with the correct color RGB. Here's the red decrease. I'm looking to see if the value is less than 10, and if it is, I'm throwing out an error. Otherwise, I'm setting it. The hex implementation, see, I'm converting hex to decimal and then I'm returning it back. So quick look at the controller interface and model interface and the view interface. And so then we can go over to the UML and take a look there. And I hope this is sufficient, but there wasn't a lot of room, and I know on our last project we were allowed to write a little note as long as we made sure that it was addressed with the asterisk C note. There was so many inner classes, I didn't want to junk up the UML. But all of them are dependent on this particular controller class. And again, I was not sure of the dependency. So I did the depend zone. It made sense. Let me see where to start. We've got the implements for the interfaces, and then we also have the aggregates as well. I will give you a minute to take a look. And this is pretty much my project, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll be waiting to hear. Thank you. Bye-bye.